They just don't make them like these anymore. Finding spools of thread on a wooden spool. That's why I like going to thrift shops. The thread is beautiful. The way that it's held on a wooden spool is beautiful. So, 4 times a month, and sometimes more, I take myself to a few different locations to work on a community care blanket. It's a blanket that's made up of patchwork material. Sorry, I'm looking for my thimble. Just give me a second. It's a blanket that's made out of patchwork material. And when I'm sewing it, I'm doing a technique that's kind of like applique. I'm keeping the edges raw. I'm using embroidery style stitches to attach the patches to an underlying blanket. All of the material, all of it, including the underlying blanket, have been donated by various people. And it's really cool. It's this idea of, bringing, in a patchwork kind of a way, bringing together different people's contributions, different people's energies. And working with the raw edges, rather than folding all of the edges, does 2 things. One is that it just makes it a lot easier when I'm teaching people different stitches and how to sew. And the other is that it acts as a metaphor for life. We do not have to show a perfected representation of us or our lives. We just need to show up in our raw selves. That doesn't mean that we don't abide by our principles and values. I'm not suggesting that, but we don't have to be cultivated. You just come in as your raw self, raw edge self. And I started the blanket with the idea that by having community members contribute to the blankets, not only would there be many different hands enacting care through the creation of blankets that are gifted to people who are in need of blankets, but it's also an act of learning how to meet one another in a good way, with good hearts. It's a space where, whether you're really experienced or have zero experience, you can come together and contribute something and learn how to stitch our lives together in this patchwork quilt of life. That's what the blanket means, and that's what's really powerful and potent about doing these kinds of handwork projects, especially ones where the intention is to serve and support the community. The idea isn't new. It's been done for centuries. People coming to do work together, raise a barn, harvest a field, plant a field, sew quilts, make contributions. And while it's really wonderful to see how craft is becoming, it's resurging, it's becoming popular again, to learn how to knit and crochet and sew and do various kinds of crafts. But doing them solo, while useful as a skill and as something that is therapeutic, it's lovely, and how much more lovely to then take those skills and support one another with them. So if anybody feels like they want to start up their own care community care blankets in their own areas, please take that on as a project. The whole idea of doing that is that it spreads. It's not just for one place with one group of people doing that kind of work.